We're going to move on then and look at Menu Manager. Right, so we're just jumping back to Joomla and we've finished editing. So what I'd like to do here, I'm just going to hit save, which will then return us back to the list of articles in Article Manager. So you can see the article that I published, and we've got it here, my article title. You can see that it's published, but as this was a demonstration, we're just going to click on the green tick and this will unpublish the article. Great. And so at this point, what I would like to do is get back to the control panel. So we go Site, top left, and hit Control Panel. Right. So here in the control panel, we have something called Menu Manager. So I'm just going to click on Menu Manager. By default in Joomla, we have a main menu, and the main menu is the menu that's loaded onto Joomla when you first have it installed. We've got a list of other menus on this site. We've got a user menu, top menu, footer, 1, 2, and 3. Now, depending on how your site's set up, you may have 1 or 2 menus, you may have 10 or more. It just depends on how much content you have and the type of menu structure that's been set up for your site. I'm going to focus on the main menu because most websites tend to have one main menu. So if I click on the menu items column icon, this will take me to the menu items for the main menu. So as you can see, we've got the first one listed here as home, and it's got a gold star next to it which says default, and basically that means what's the default page for, or the default menu item for your website. Now here I've labeled this one home, then we've got other menus, products, about us, so on and so forth. Now if we're going to take a quick look just so you get an idea of what I mean by menus and menu items, here you can see home, products, about us, recipes, latest offers, and contact us. Now if I jump back to the main menu, you'll see that we've got exactly the same menu structure as we saw on the front end of that particular website. So how do we edit and create new menus? Well, again, very similar layout to sections, categories, and articles. We have the name of where we are here, so we've got Menu Item Manager. It tells us that we're looking currently at the main menu. On the right hand side, we have the action toolbar where we can do a number of things, and in particular, we've got new. So here we can create a new menu item. So at this point, I'm just going to jump back to the presentation just to refresh our memory here. So if you remember earlier when I spoke about the content side of things, where we set up our pages, we have to create sections, categories, and then we create articles, the actual pages where all of your content is stored, using the filing cabinet metaphor. The way that we link to these particular parts or components of content, we use menus. So remember, menus are the labels on the filing cabinet, the labels on the suspension folders, and the titles on the actual pages. So to do that, that's what the menu manager allows us to do by creating new menu items. So we've got a list of number of options here, but in particular I'm going to look at articles. So click on articles, and by doing that, it then tells me I have a number of options, a number of areas of the site that I can link to. I can link to an individual article, as it says, the article layout. I can link to a category with a blog layout, or I can link to a section with a blog layout. So for this example, I'm going to focus on these three. So we've got article layout, category blog layout, and section blog layout. To make things easy, if I link to an article layout, one particular article, it will then say here, top left, article layout. So as I clicked on the previous link, it then will ask me for the menu item title. So I'm going to call it menu item. Menu item 1. Let me try and spell that correctly. So there we go. Menu item 1 for the title. Keep the alias the same. And over here on the right, what we then need to do is actually find the article that this menu is going to link to. So we click on the select article on the right, and then I'm looking for that new article I created previously. If I can find it. Can't find it at the moment, and I know why. It's because I've unpublished it. What I'll do is just link to the About Us page. So therefore I've selected the About Us. I'm then going to hit Save. Right. So if I go back to the front end of this particular website, refresh my browser, you'll then see a new menu which I've just created. So I click on that and it takes us to the About Us page. There we go. So I'm just going to jump back into the admin side. I'm going to unpublish this because we don't need this menu item on the website. And there we have it. Created a new article, which in turn we then created a new menu which linked to a specific article. Now, why would we use the other options to link to categories or sections? I'll give you an example. So we'll create a new menu item again, and this time if I click on articles, I'm going to go to category blog layout. Now the whole point of the category blog layout, we'll just call it category layout, is that we're then able to point to a category that contains more than one article. Now you may use this, just correcting my spelling here whilst I'm talking. So you may use this if you want to link to a number of articles. Say for instance you had a new section on your website where you wanted to publish fresh and regular articles and you wanted to show them all on the same page. This is why you'd then link to a category. So we've given our new menu item a title, the alias is the same. On the right hand side we then need to select what category we're going to link to. So I'm going to find one that we created before. So we've got news latest. I'm going to show the description, show the image. We'll have 0 leading, we'll have 10 showing the intro, 1 column with 0 links. I'm happy with that, and then we just hit save. So now if I go onto the front end of this website, we hit refresh, there we have it, our new menu item. Click on category layout, so I'll go and visit it. And as you can see, it says latest news from the Joomla team, but because we have no news in this particular category, it's not showing us anything. So what I'll then do, just so that we can see how it would normally show us articles, is go back to Site Control Panel, Article Manager. I'm going to find the article we created earlier in the demonstration. We're going to publish it. So my article title, I'm going to click on the title so I can edit it and change the section and category that it belongs to. So I'm going to choose my section, choose news, latest, hit save. I'm going to go back to the front end and then I'm just going to hit refresh. So there we are. You can then see the new page that I added earlier and it's listed there. Now if you had more than one article on this particular category layout, you may or you probably have seen before where you get read more, so you can read the rest of the article. Now this is useful if you've got a number or more than 10 articles on a particular category layout. So the way that we do that, if you want to create the read more option, is first of all we'll just find the page that we're editing. Give me a second. My article title. So we'll let the page load. So for instance, after the bold text here, if we wanted to insert a read more, we create the space like I just did, and then down here at the bottom we can either click on read more there, or in the rich text editor for JC editor you can click on insert read more. I'll click on this one because you'll find this on most Joomla 1.5 sites, so click on read more. We've got this nice horizontal line come up, and hit save. Go to the front end, we hit refresh, and there you see we've got a read more link now just after the bold text, which is what I created a moment ago. If I click on read more, it will then load up the article on its own. So there you go, how to add a read more in your article for a category blog layout in Menu Manager on a Joomla 1.5 site. So that ends this section, and next up we then have, if I can just refresh my memory,